Okay, hello everybody. So today I thought I'd share with you a very quick and easy practice exercise for practicing Barry Harris's six-chord rules over a very, very popular chord cadence, like a 5/1 cadence that you can use not just in jazz, but in every soul, R&B, pop style. It's very useful. It's helped me a lot with my voice leading and just generally getting comfortable with doing chord progressions. So many songs use this. So right to it. So before I begin, I just wanted to say, for more information on the six-chord rules, there's a video on that which I'll link to in the description. Barry Harris six-chord rules. That's also related to my 10-chord routine. So there are two videos on that, one in closed position and one in 3-chord. So I encourage you to look at those if you're not familiar with these six-chord rules. So we're going to do a 5/1 cadence in C, the people's key. So G7 to C, and it's going to be 4 measures long, and you're going to do a couple of different flavors of each chord. So the first measure is going to be a G7 with a sus4, and the six-chord rule, and again, watch the video for more information, the six-chord rule for that is an F6. An F6 gives us the 7th, the 9th, the sus4, and the 5. And that's going to be the first measure. The second measure, we're going to resolve the sus, okay? And we're going to end up with a D minor 6. But you notice I picked the closest one, right? This root position, F6, went to a first inversion, D minor 6. And that already is already... It's already, you kind of put a little bossa nova beat on it. And, I mean, how many songs do that? You know? Right. You know, instead of going to the D minor, you used to stay on the G. So it's kind of the same thing. There's one example already where this etude is useful. Okay, so that's first measure, F6 over a G, which is what you would play for G7 with a sus4. Second measure, D minor 6 over G, which gives you a G with a 9, a G9. Next, you'll do the tritones minor rule, or the A flat minor 6 over G, which is what you would play for a G alt, or a G7 flat 9, or a G7 with a flat 13. All of those altered dominant sevenths. And I would again find the nearest inversion. In this case, it's the third inversion. There's my A flat minor 6. The 6th, the root, the minor 3rd, and the 5th. In this case, for a G7, they represent the 7th, the flat 9, the 3rd, and the flat 13. Right? So those are my 3 G7 chords that I'm going to do. And of course, from there, we want to go to a C major. And we're going to do 2 flavors of C major for the 4th measure. 2 beats of the C major 7 with a 9. Right? Now, a lot of people look at that and say, that's a C9 chord. 3rd, 5th, major 7th, and 9th. But we in Barry world know that's actually a G6. The 6th, the root, the 3rd, and the 5th of a G6, which represents the 3rd, 5th, 7th, and 9th. And it also looks like an E minor 7 over C. All of those things I've heard as explanations of how to treat a C major 7 with a 9. I prefer to think in terms of 6 chords. I think we're best served thinking in terms of 6 chords in this language. So there's my first 2 beats. My second 2 beats, I'm going to take the movement. And the movement is the 7 to the 6 and the 9 to the root. Okay? So here's the whole thing. Okay? Now, there are some alternatives. You can play the diminished in between. Right? And there's a video on this. It's called Up a Fifth, Down a Fifth. I'll link this. This is also addressed in the Diminished Genealogy, which is where we get all of our sixth chords, and they all come from a diminished. This E diminished is in between a C6 and a G6. Right? If I take two chord tones and consecutive chord tones and move them down, I get one sixth chord. If I move them up, I get another sixth chord a fifth away. So this is an application of that principle. And again, if this is confusing to you, it's broken down pretty completely in those two videos, the Diminished Genealogy and the Up a Fifth, Down a Fifth. So, and now you can even throw the sixth diminished. Okay, and for more information on that, find the 10-chord routine or any number of zillions of videos on the internet about Barry Harris's sixth diminished system. So what do I have? I have the G6, the diminished, the C6, that diminished, and back to C6 again. So the whole exercise, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now of course that's optional. I personally like to throw as much into my routine exercises as I can so that I have things under my fingers so that I don't even have to think about them when I'm in the situation. And, I don't know, one application I hear all the time for this song is like, now you say you're lonely, right? Here it is. You cry the whole night through. Cry me a river. There's one other opportunity right here in a different key. So you see, there's a classic place where you would put that. But that's only 1/4 of it. The rest, you're going to do all the different inversions because each inversion has its own voice leading solution. That you just decide on one. The one that I decided on was the closest one, the most possible common tones, and only moving stepwise whenever possible. So let me run through the whole thing for you. So it's F6 in the root position, D minor 6 in the second inversion, A flat minor 6 in the third inversion, G6 third inversion, right? Let me just go straight to it for clarity. But you can put those other things. So it's G6 to C6 in first inversion. Okay. Then I'm going to move. I started here. The next one's going to start on this first inversion F6. Now I'm going to move the third voice down. Then I'm going to have a root position, A flat minor 6, A flat, B, E flat, or C flat I should say, E flat and F. And now I'm going to have a root position G6 to a third inversion. Root position, first inversion, second inversion, C6. Right? So here's that second way of doing it. Right? Next is going to be second inversion F6, third inversion D minor 6, First inversion, A flat minor 6, second to third. And last, you're going to have the third inversion. This happens to be my favorite because the common tone is on top. And the movement now is in the outer voices. Let's do that last one again, just because it was so pretty. Whatever. Okay, so let's do the whole thing. And then what you do now, as much patience as you have, you can run the whole cycle. C, G7 to C, then the C becomes a C7 to F, the F becomes F7 to B flat, and so on. So let's review C, all 4 inversions, and then start doing the whole cycle. Okay, here we go. And I like to put a little bossa nova beat on it. All right. Now I'll try to find, like I just went, it'll be a little weird to go all the way down here. So I don't necessarily start on the root position every time. I start with the one that's around the top being on middle C. That's always a good policy. Again, Barry said this in class. When you're accompanying, the melody's up here. If it's a guitar or a voice or a saxophone. So you want to comp right around just underneath it. Makes sense. Here it is in F. Right? So then I'll go here now. Practice it myself. It's just so pretty. And now F7. Spare. What am I doing? That's it. My Barry Harris 6-chord rule Etude. Of course, it leaves a few key ones out, so you definitely want to get to those other ones. But it's a wonderful application because it gives you voice leading solutions on a very common and very awesome 5/1 cadence, which so many examples use them. All right, I hope you found this useful. If this is useful to you and you don't mind helping me out making this content, please try to visit my Patreon page, uh, patreon.com/Isaac Raz, where you can become a member and get access to transcriptions and bonus videos and other goodies. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share with all your friends. And thank you again. Love all your comments and your questions. I try to get to as many questions as I can. So be on the lookout for those. And yeah, thanks. Keep swinging out there, guys and gals.